Hi metalheads! Do you know any great bands from Vietnam? Well, I do, and I want to share that with you in today's episode of Worldwide Metal! Worldwide Metal! I feel so excited whenever I dig deep and find bands that definitely need more attention. So let's give them our horns up! And thanks to you maniacs, and watching Worldwide Metal will make you a true supporter of global metal. You can also find who is my personal number one from the Vietnamese bands from today. Let's go! Vietnam is a long S-shaped country with the coastline on the South China Sea. The country is home to a variety of landscapes. Its climate is tropical with hot and humid summers and mild winters. Vietnam has a long history dating back thousands of years. It is a popular tourist destination with beautiful beaches, delicious food, and of course great metal music. As far as I know, the most important person in the Vietnamese history was TRUNG. Because of political situation in the country, rock music was banned, but since it was unleashed again, Vietnam started bringing vibrant metal bands, and by now there's plenty of great music to choose from. So let's move on to those 15 metal bands I choose for you for an ultimate sonic pleasure. Let's kick off with something brutal and devilish. Black death duo SERPENT is a new band with their debut album Bestial Extermination being both bestial and exterminating. So here's the album opener, Death Invocation. Enjoy! Okay, so let's crank the tempo a bit and meet the second band today. I have no idea how their name should be pronounced. Let's say it's Wuru. Guys, if you're watching this, drop me a line and let me know how it's pronounced correctly. Anyways, that sounds like a really refreshing grindcore. Let's bring it on! Alright, let's move on. I checked the third band's pronunciation and it's something like THÁNH, but probably I'm wrong. So here's the name and a true banger that one is. Alright, let's check this band's bold throwerish style of death metal. Like my metal journey around the globe? Hit subscribe to catch another episode. Thumbs up, always appreciated. Also, vote for your favorite Vietnamese metal bands in the comments and let me know about other bands not mentioned today. Leaving death metal for a while, let us grab a razor and feel some misanthropy with a band DØDSSANGER, a depressive black metal band based in Hanoi. Penance is a song from the really good debut album Reflection of a Wretched Soul, released by a label House of Igra, a label that seems to be really important in Vietnam And that's maybe because it was co-founded by members of bands mentioned today. But now, let's give DØDSSANGER their time. Alright, another great banger in the deathcore groove death metal vein is VOLUPTUARY. This band is a little older one, with their formation dating back to 2013. Though I decided to choose their more recent song, named... oh, never mind, it's VOLUPTUARY! Since Vietnam has a really strong death and black metal scene, let me introduce few bands from different genres before we return to death, tanks, and the devil. LOLOTICA are thrash metalers from Ho Chi Minh, and by now they have released just one album, Mao, which means blood. And this is the title track, Hell Yeah!
Xung chuyển mà tâm linh làm đổi màu 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 cháy xuống từ mái nhà cũng đạn màu phun lên từ sau nhà dập lửa màu đã đỏ một bức tường tội lỗi màu tuôn ra từ bàn thờ tổ tiên màu của những câu giận người vô tội màu từ những quả tim bị cướp đi màu cho những cho hệ bệnh hoạn màu đã rơi người sống kẻ bất nhân.
Let us now pay homage to TRUNG, one of the earliest founding members of the rock community in Vietnam. He died in 2021, fortunately leaving some great music behind. Here's his band, SAGOMETAL. As promised, we are now returning to death and black metal rampage, firstly with more melodic death metal band RêVASSEUR. This is again a release by House of Igra, and if you're longing for In Flames like in their first era, this is a must listen. ELCROST is a black metal band whose members are co-founders of House of Igra. The song you're about to hear reminds me of early Opeth with black metal. If you're not a black metal orthodox, this is a good band to hear. Next one is a death metal band INFECATED, who recently released their debut album. So this is a good moment to introduce them to all the maniacs of worldwide metal. Alright! Next band is a classic black metal one. I was curious how many metal bands I can find with that name, but surprisingly there weren't so many. And this band is already 2 decades old. Anyways, this is Rot from Vietnam with their song Pray for Your End. Another death metal killer from Vietnam is DISGUSTED. It's straightforward death metal with nice arrangements and really good vocals. I really like the bass exposure in the mix, and trust me, all the must-be elements of death metal are here. Recommended! Let us now stop with my personal number one from today. Imperatus is a black death metal band with some death metal riffing and melodies, but with amazing fierce black metal vocals. Naturally, there's some pure black metal force on this one, and it's only their debut album, so horns up for their next releases. This is Imperatus. Getting close to finish, let us headbang a little with the band BUTCHERY. Ferocious Rampage is the name of their only release by now, and believe me, it's a good description of their ferocious music. I would also like to point those raw vocals It's probably because of production, but in my opinion, it fits well into this rampage. Let's get a final dose of brutality with CALOCHIVU. It's a project of Nguyen Van Trung, well, of him, known from many bands, including before mentioned BUTCHERY. So let us enter the Museum of Terrors to finish today's exploration of Vietnam. That's it for today. Hope you found your favorite metal bands from Vietnam. If you want to sink even deeper into this interesting metal scene, check the movie The Untold Story of Vietnamese Heavy Metal. There's a link in the description of the video. As usually, thanks for watching and see you in the next episode of Worldwide Metal. Cheers!